Today is the 127th English Defense Sermon. I would like to discuss about why God's man must be courageous, Middle East war, and angelic protection. 1. The reason why God's man will show courageous, and such as to equally against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do not owe their God shall be strong and to exploit. Daniel 11:32. It is said that when a man of God must be brave, he must be brave. Therefore, it is the reason why man of God must be brave when he sees something. If a man of God does not show bravery, there are things that absolutely cannot be done. This means that the time has come to use a man of God. Then it is said about when God will use his human bravery. 1. The two great leaders lied to each other and plot evil. Daniel 11:27. And both of these things hearts shall be to do mischief, and they shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper, for it the end shall be at the time appointed. Daniel 11:27. This is because when we see the so-called world leaders who are moving the world shamelessly, lying to each other, will corrupt minds and thoughts in the face of the international because, while harboring ambitions for the power and dreaming empty dreams, the people of God must be bravely step forward. This is because when the leaders of the two major world blocks do such things, the only people who can do the work are the people of God. In other words, when the leaders of the world lie, we cannot help but wonder what will happen to the people under them. At this time, the world will come a place where everything is made of lies. So the true people of the God must come out. 2. When you see the abomination standing in the holy place, and the arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of the strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that makes desolate, and such as to equally against the covenant shall be corrupt by flatteries, but the help of that to do their God shall be strong and to exploit. Daniel 11:31-32. Even one pulpit of the church of God, a son whose destruction stands. So the people of God who see this cannot help but display courage. If the people of God remain silent after seeing this, the church is in the danger of destruction without doubt. This is because they are breaking the covenant of God, the truth of the last days, and are corrupting the wicked through deceit. The church is busy making the wicked repent, but instead they are corrupting them, which is the son of the destruction. 3. When many people become friends through deceit, war against the kingship, because the kingship is the law of truth, and this something that a person of God should do. But when we see that the church with the signboard of Christianity is compromising with the swimming police, the person of God cannot help but so crazy and stand up. This is evidence that the end times have come. Now, when they shall fall, they shall be helped with little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. Daniel 11:34. For when the atheistic police of the loose becomes extremely successful, if a man of God were to sleep while watching an athlete raise his flag and oppose God to the extreme, his conscience would not allow it. It is impossible for the person who so-called knows God to condemn the idea that there is no God and to go before it and compromise. It is impossible for a person to condemn the idea that there is no God and to go before it and compromise. The reason why the northern power that they says that there is no God is being exalted is because the time has come for a person who knows God to awaken, rise up and strike down the power. For example, the king Pharaoh was extremely stubborn. Moses was used, and when Ahab and Jezebel were extremely bad, Elijah was used. If a man of God does not rise up when the power of the atheists becomes strong today, Christianity will undoubtedly become food for beasts. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be completed, for that the list of the determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his patronage, nor the desire of woman, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. But in his estate shall be honored the God of forces, and the God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold, and silver, and with the precious stone, and the pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the most strong of hosts the strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over the many, and shall divide the land over again. Daniel 11:36-39. 5. When the Middle East situation become extremely critical, and at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, and with horsemen, and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter also the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But this shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch cross his hand, also open the countries, and the land of the Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasure of gold, and of the silver, and over all precious things of Egypt. And the Libyan and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great glory to destroy, and utterly to make away many. Daniel 11:40-44. As the two great camps of the north and south of the world become extremely corrupt, the people of the Cush and Libya in the south rise up against the north, and the only way to stop the northern power is from Assyria. At this time, those who knows God rise up in the east, with courage, and God mobilized the great many, Michael, the prophet, the people of God, Daniel 2:12-1. Therefore, the problem of Asia is said to be resolved by the people of God, which is the rumor of the northeast. Daniel 11:44. This is a superhuman works, and the northern powers, who do not have God, do not know what to do, and are troubled, and then they will perish. At this time, there will be resurrected saints who will rise from the dust of the earth, and the servant who will show courage and lead many people to righteousness will receive the royal rich that shines forever like the stars. Daniel 12:2-3. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which stand over the children of your people, and there shall be time of the trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. At the time, your people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the permanent, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Daniel 12:1-3. Conclusion. God's second coming is imminent, and he is greatly thanks the forces opposed to him. As for people who know God, we must walk courageously, and at the same time, we must know that God will receive glory through the northeast, and that a new era will become when Christ descends. Now we must become people of God who can display courage. Number 2. Middle East War and angelic protection. When God showed Daniel, who was so captive in Babylon, the end of the mankind, he said that Babylon would fall to the Medes and the Persians, and that the Medes and the Persians would fall to Greece, and there would be a war between the north and the south during the Greek era. At the same time, regarding the war between the north and the south in the end of the grand count, he said that the north centered around the Middle East is a force that opposed the truth, opposed all gods, and make his own power is God, and that everything is discipled. And he said that the last war would come when from the loss like water, and when even Egypt would be devoured by the death force, the people of the southern Africa would not oppose the war, those, but would serve them. Now let's read the text at this and briefly study it about the war in the Middle East and the protection of angels. 1. The king of the south attacks the north first, and at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, it carrieth, and with horsemen, and with many ships, and ye shall enter into the countries, and ye shall overflow and pass over. Daniel 11:14. The police of the north is always to practice right to speak peace on the outside, and to use secret trickery. Therefore, the southern king is faced with a difficult situation, where though he has no choice but to attack the north. Even now, the north is plotting an invasion of the south with trickery politics, but is falsely propagandizing that it is not going to war and is only seeing peace. Therefore, the southern king is the first to attack the north because of the unavoidable circumstance. The noble ones are not harmed. He shall enter wars into the glorious land, and the many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of the Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of the Egypt shall not escape, but he shall have power over the treasures, gold, and over silver, and over all the precious things of the Egypt. And the Libyans and the Egyptians shall be at his steps. Then 11:41 through 43. The northern powers come down like a whirlwind or an overflowing water. But it is not a calamity that harms the nobles, but a disaster and pulses the wicked world at the end of the mankind. 3. Hearing rumors from the northeast, he becomes troubled. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and utterly to make away many, and he shall plant the tabernacles of his place between the streets in the glorious joy mountain, holy mountain. And he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Daniel 11:44 through 45. The reason why the northern powers infiltrate the Middle East and become one with Africa is because they are always chambering to the north. However, when they hear rumors from the northeast, the at least northern powers become very troubled and take violent actions. This happens because God's work in the far east occurs, as is in Isaiah 41 and Revelation 7. Therefore, the loss which knows of its own power as God does not know what to do, and becomes troubled, and acts to kill many people for no reason, and is bound to perish. 4. There is angelic protection, and at the time shall Miguel stand up, the great prince, which stands over the children of your people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was nation even to that same time, and at the time yours people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Daniel 12:1. The war of the end of the mankind is a terrible war that has never been seen in history since the foundation of the nation. Therefore, at this time, the great prince Michael will rise up and protect God's people. God's revelation at the end of the mankind is the method to save only those who are written in the book of the life and to destroy all others. Conclusion. God is the God of truth, who works according to His word. Therefore, we do not need to believe in absolute protection and fear the war taking place in the Middle East. When we stand firm on the word and fight with the thoughts that God protects us, we will be able to welcome the Lord who comes again. The curious period is around 2025 through 2026 for the unification of the North and South Korea. The first 3.5 years around 2025 through 2028. The rapture and the World War III around 2028. The next 3.5 years around 2028 through 2032. And after organizing the Kingdom Department, the coronation and the departs, heaven wedding feast, Revelation 6 to Revelation 19:9, the Armageddon war is expected around 2032, the wedding feast, the inauguration ceremony of the King of Kings, and the Tanakh, Revelation 24, and the Millennium Kingdom are expected around 2035. Thank you for watching until the end, and you can see the English and Korean text of the more detailed defense sermon that the word responded to in the homepage, below a copy of the Candlestick Central Church on the internet. I wish you a blessed life in which the fear of the Lord is your joy in your daily life. I pray that every day of your life is free from sin and has nothing to do with sin, and become a pilgrim to welcome the Lord of the second coming. The entry to 3.5 years before the last week is very near. I hope you walk in the peace of the Lord until the next time. Thank you. The 10 Commandments. First, you shall have no others God before me. Second, you shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything, and you shall not bow down to them or worship them. Third, you shall not misuse the name of the Lord of your God. Fourth, remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Fifth, honor your mother and your mother. Sixth, you shall not murder. Seventh, you shall not commit adultery. Eighth, you shall not steal. Ninth, you shall not give a false testimony against your neighbor. Tenth, you shall not covet your neighbor's belongings. Thank you.